Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking out the channel. And this here is the Mutt, my 1987 Ford Ranger, rock crawler, trophy crawler, the Truggy, known as many things. Brand new, fresh build. And today I'm going to walk you through installing a custom rear anti-roll bar for off-roading. I just finished the build of this truck, just started putting some street miles on it, breaking it in, kind of working out the bugs. One of those bugs is body roll. Suspension on this truck is very soft, and on the street, she has a lot of body roll. It doesn't bother me a whole lot, but the downside of that is that body roll, when you're off road, can be very dangerous. You get into a situation, you're on an obstacle, you're off camber. When you allow the chassis and the body to separate too much, if you're already off camber, the body can continue to roll and could literally pull you over in an extreme case. So the more you can do to keep the chassis and the body planted together off road, the more stable, more safe it's going to be. So that's what I'm getting into today. What I did was I ended up getting a hold of a company called TK1 Racing. Unfortunately, I don't build Jeeps. So I can't just open up a Quadratech catalog or call up Four Wheel Parts and order an off-road roll bar kit for this. So you're pretty much on your own, fabbing stuff, designing stuff, or relying on the aftermarket to come up with something, custom solution, which is what I did here. So anyway, let me show you the products that I got and explain what it's going to do, and we'll get into it. Okay, so on the truck, what I elected to do was I'm just going to install a rear anti-roll bar on this truck. The front, I added it says a dual shock setup on the front. I initially test drove the truck with just a single shock per corner, and the body roll, like I said, was a lot. So I elected to put the dual shock setup, which did help the front a lot. The problem is with this truck, I have a specialized rear suspension set up. Yes, it is leaf sprung, but in the front eyelet of these leaf springs, I have articulating, there's steel bushings from AFCO Racing. There's about 18 degrees of articulation built into that bushing that these leaf springs, the whole rear suspension can move that much before it ever gets to the point where it will start twisting the leaves in the springs, which a normal setup would do. So it has a lot of give in the rear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the sway bar to the rear of the truck. And basically what I'll end up doing is this oval hole in the chassis, I'm going to open that up to 1.75 inches. Same thing on the other side. And we're going to slide a bar right through the chassis, weld it all up. And then we will have arms that will go from here all the way back with links that will basically land right there on the plates for the leaf spring U-bolts. That's the most logical place that I've come up with so far. So let me show you the kit that I bought. Okay, so again, I called TK1 Racing. I spoke to the owner, Tony, a few times in the past about this. And I finally went ahead and pulled the trigger. And after talking to him, I think we came up with a very good solution that's going to work good for this truck. Fortunately, I know exactly what my vehicle weighs. I know what it is, percentages front and rear. So that really helped him kind of design the right roll bar kit to work with this truck. So based off the weights that I gave him, he decided that the best choice for my truck was his rock crawler bar, and that's this right here. My frame rails at the widest point where I'm going to install it is 33 inches. So this is this 36-inch bar. And what it will do is, like I said, that tube, 1.75 inches, will be inserted through the chassis. These bushings will go in. And then that bar goes inside of it. From there, 16-inch single shear arms. These will bolt around the splines of the anti-roll bar. Then we have 12-inch links with double shear tabs that will get mounted on those leaf spring plates. It's pretty simple little setup. Should make a huge difference. Kind of the way it was described to me, the size of that anti-roll bar, it's not going to make a huge difference on the street, but off-road when we're crawling and making slow movements, that bar should have plenty of control to keep the truck flat and kind of stuck with the chassis, that it should make a big difference off-road on, many obstacles. So that's what I'm working with there. Let's get started on getting this installed and see what it's all about. All right, step one in this whole process is I need to get the bed gutted, because I need to get to my auxiliary trans cooler. I have to move that because the tube that contains the bar is going to interfere with that. So luckily, I was smart enough that I made my bed able to be disassembled. So the bed floor being expanded metal, it all comes out, spare tire is out, my little tailgate is off. So now I have all the access I need to get to that, and I think all I need to do is just kind of flip-flop it to the top side of that bracket, and I should be good to go. Shouldn't have to change or modify anything else. So that's what I'm gonna get done first here. And also, if you can see my little dump on the muffler, I think that's gonna have to come off, and I'm gonna have to reconfigure that because I think that's gonna interfere also, but not a big deal. Okay, so I got the tranny cooler moved up. Basically moved up probably about 2 inches. I just flipped it to the top side of that mounting bracket, and I just put some spacers underneath it. So that's how much I raised it. I had to change up the way the line was routed on this side. I had to put a 90-degree fitting in it because the temperature probe tire actually hit it when I loaded it up. I actually broke it. So I'm waiting on a new one right now. So that part's all done. Now I can start drilling the hole. There's my mark. There's the bushing. And I got the tube in the back there. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to measure everything one more time before I start drilling. And then we're going to get a hole in there. All right. So I went ahead. I got my spot. I kind of moved it a little bit from where I had it originally. There's a little brace on the back side. It's a little bit close to that. So I moved it back. And basically what I want to see is, hopefully you can see all this. Here's the arm. I center the arm over that hole. And over here is where my heim is going to go. So right there is how that's going to look, basically. They want it so when your shock is in the center of its travel is where you want the arm to be parallel to the ground. So sitting static, I only have like 4 inches of stuff. These are 12-inch travel shocks. So the arm is going to be running uphill when I'm sitting static. So I only have like 4 inches of stuff. So the arm will, probably come up like this, but it gives me a lot more down travel with it. So I'm going to go ahead and drill my pilot hole here first. Then I'll cut it with the hole saw, and we'll go do the other side next. Oh boy, drill's hot. So here's my piece of 1 3/4 120 wall tubing. Next, I'm gonna have to go in, just deburr it just a hair. Yep. Get a little bit more taken out, then she'll slide right in. Okay. me do that real quick. Okay, over on this side, driver's side, I got the pilot hole already drilled. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this hole. I have this oval one here. Pilot hole should keep my whole 1 3/4 hole straight. Shouldn't be a problem with that. And then after I have this hole cut, I'll actually cut a little filler piece to fill that in there. So no big deal. I just got to watch on the back side. I have my vent tube for the gas tank, goes to the charcoal canister, and I got some wiring. My wiring harnesses right here. So just be conscious of those on the back side and drill away. So let's get at it. Bam. There it is. I didn't even hit anything on the back side. All right, so now I have the tube fed through both sides of the frame rail. And basically what I'm going to do now is I may have to trim a little bit. I'm going to get it set so it's maybe 1/8 of an inch out past the frame rail so I can get a good weld bead on it, and then I'll trim off the rest. So let me get some measurements and get that set up how I want it. All right, there's the tube. It's all welded in the frame. I'll just go over with my flat disc and clean up that so I got a nice flat surface for that aluminum bushing to sit on. And once it cools down, I hit it with some fresh paint, and that part's done. So anyway, the tube, cleaned it up with some brake clean, wiped it all down, took it outside, and I painted the majority of it except for just right on the ends where it's going to get welded. So at least that'll be all painted. And I think on the inside of the tube, I think I'm going to spray it with some fluid film on the inside so it's not just bare metal in there. If water ever gets in it, I would hate to have that thing rusting. And also this sway bar here, I think I'm going to coat this with a good amount of grease or something also so this doesn't start rusting inside that tubing. So anyway, while that paint is drying up, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to assemble the arms. Got these 3 big button head cap screws going here. They give you some blue Loctite for these bolts. And I'm going to put just a little bit of dab of anti-seize in this pocket where these 2 pieces come together. Just a little bit of insurance. But then also, I've already got the disconnection already made. I'm going to go ahead and anti-seize up all the threads on the little heims and get those installed too. Okay, I got some blue Loctite on these. I'm going to run them in. I put a little bit of anti-seize where it goes inside the pocket. We'll get these tightened up. Do that on both of these. These will be good to install. Okay, so I slid the bar in. I basically, well, first I did basically fill the that 1 3/4 tube that goes to the frame. I pumped it full of fluid film. Had a long nozzle, stuck it all in there, sprayed all the inside of that tube with fluid film. I anti-seized the outer part of the aluminum bushings that went in the tube. Then they give you some moly lube that'll go on the end of the spline shaft. So the bar is in, has these little caps that screw right into the center of the sway bar. I got the arms just loosely on. They're not tightened down or nothing yet. And basically over on this end, now I need to weld this assembly right here on my U-bolt plate. And that will get this up to the right angle anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning the paint off of that. I'm going to probably trim these flat on the bottom so they sit proper. And then I'll go ahead and burn those on. And yeah, we'll move on from there. But yeah, looking pretty cool. I like it. So now I have both of the lower link tabs welded on. the spring plates for the U-bolts. Now these are just going to go right inside. I got to make sure that I have both of these arms splined in the same place. So I'm gonna set up both the links exactly to the same length, and then when I have the splines both correct, everything on both sides, the bolt should slide in and out real easy on both of them. So I'm liking it. Looks real good. So when this obviously it's sitting on the weight right now, so that's why the arm is running uphill. So when the shock is at about the middle of its travel, that arm should be right about level. So it should work out real good. You got to be careful when the suspension droops fully out. When this arm comes down, you don't want this link to kind of over travel and flip flop the other way. So I think I'm going to be good. I don't think I have enough travel to worry about that back here. So I'm going to go ahead and hook all these up and see how it turned out. All right, links are on. Everything is tight, top and bottom. Jam nuts are tight. Like I said, I anti-seized inside. That's an aluminum tube. And these clamps right here, these are now tightened down quite a bit. There you can see the sway bar and how it's splined to the arm. Now the finishing touch is to just put the cap on it. Repeat that on the other side, and that's it. Sway bar's done. She's on. And there it is. We're done. That was a heck of a lot simpler than I thought it would be to install. Looks really good. I like it. So next is to get it on the road and test it out. I can't wait to see how this feels. I'll have to probably report that back in the next video. But for now, I think that's going to conclude this video, this install. Can't get much cleaner than that. Nice touch. So, TK1 Racing. So that just goes to show there's other options out there, especially if you're not a Jeeper. You got a second choice out there other than Rock Jock. Very happy I found this product. I know a couple of my friends are running them. They're having good experiences with them, so I'm fully expecting the same. So anyway, that's it for this video. Nice, short, and sweet. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you're not, subscribe. Click the bell, please. Thank you. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.